What's up, fellow darters? My name's Nate Vance. I live here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm originally from Maine, Buxton, Maine, just south of Portland. And I've got a new hobby that's completely taken over my life. And it's been a long time since I've had something that really just takes over my entire brain space constantly. In the morning, bedtime, while I'm at work. It even got to the point where I put some darts in my truck, so while I'm driving around, I can just feel them, Some of you may laugh at this, but if you have a hobby where you can do that, I just want to get that feel on my hands. But here I am throwing some darts right here. These are the actual landings of these throws. I just had to edit it a bit funky because I was feeling lazy and didn't want to, set up two cameras. But I got this thing set up in my living room because I bought a cheap dartboard at the flea market here in Jacksonville, and it was really, really thin. Hung it on the wall just for fun. Thought it might be something we'd do, once or twice. And I really got into it. So I decided to get another board. I got a Viper board, and it had wires on it, tons of bounce outs. But funny thing is actually when I took that cheap board off the wall, there was thousands of holes behind the wall because the darts were actually going through it. So I went down the YouTube wormhole, found out the Winmore Blade 6 is actually the best board on the market. But the competition is a close second runner-up with the Target Tour board. And that's what I got here. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's something I really want to get into. I really want to get better at and take it serious. I'm 34 years old. I've been at this for probably 4 to 6 months now. Coming up, I'm going to be throwing at the Port City Open back in Maine with my cousin Kyle. He's been throwing for, 15 years or something in leagues. My average in 501's about, I would say 50, at the lower end. Obviously, I've had worse games, but, I'd say 80% of the time I throw in the 60s. This is also what I got for Christmas, this Target Omni. This is an auto scoring system here that I would say triangulates, but it's got 4 cameras. When you throw a dart, it registers where the point is, sends it to the application that you download, and what happens is it tells you right where your dart lands. You can also play online games. There's a huge online presence and following for this system. It actually looks really, really cool. Comes with a lighting ring, everything you need. It literally just Bluetooths and connects to Wi-Fi, and you get 3 months free when you buy the system. Here I am. You see my average right there, 47, 4.0. That's because somebody gave me a bad review. But you can do doubles training, cricket. You can play 501, 301, Shanghai. You can train power scoring where you're just aiming at the treble 20, treble 19s. My fellow Americans make fun of me because I say treble, but instead of triple. But at the highest level, where darts is the most prevalent, they say treble. So it's just something that's stuck in my head. I watch a lot of PDC, a lot of professional darts. But anyways, I'm trying to join a league down here in Florida, and there's a lot of pub leagues, like bar leagues, but it's like pulling teeth trying to get responses from these guys who organize it. So I think I'm going to start playing for the DPFL, an online league, and shoot some open tournaments around here. But I'm struggling. I'm struggling with the counting. I got a decent throw. You can see right here in slow motion. I grip the dart right here. I rest my thumb pointing back towards my eye, and I touch the point. Very loose throw, but I throw very direct. And I'm getting in there. I feel like so far with darts, the difference between a good player and the average player is just consistency. Because on a good day, I can hit the treble pretty much every visit, at least one dart, or at least every 2 visits, but average, I'm right around it. It's almost like there's a opposite magnetic pole pushing the dart away from it, because I'll wire it every time, I'll get very close to the wire, but it's also one of the things that kind of gets me obsessed with this is you can have one day where you're like, holy cow, I just played a game and 5 legs and I was a 75 average, and then the next day you'll struggle to get 50, but I've been trying to keep my body still. I've been trying to keep everything nice and aligned. I try not to move my elbow very much. Right here, I'm actually throwing the Target Bolide number 2s with a 35 millimeter Swiss point, short stems, and the L style flights. This is really taking over my life, and I'm going to post more content. Don't know who I'm going to gear it towards yet, but I think my main goal is going to be getting more of a Jacksonville, Florida, and St. Augustine, Florida community together, because there's a beautiful bar down on Anastasia Island that has a beautiful dartboard setup in a separate room, and I don't think they have a league. All they have is pool. So I'm going to give you a couple more angles of my throws, and you're going to see what's going on here, and just enjoy. If you guys found this valuable, or if any of you guys are in Florida, and want to link up and play some matches, like this video, comment, subscribe to the channel, because this is brand new. I have another channel for my business that has about 6,000 or 7,000 subscribers. So I'm starting fresh. Another passion of mine. Let's get it. All right, take care, guys.